What's up, baby? We back. Between the Lines with Coach Stella. I'm Coach Stella. I'm here with my guy, Linnell Lewis, CEO of Interviews TV. We back, baby. How you feeling? We go?
Feeling good, man.
See you got that fresh cut, baby.
It's Fireman Thursday. Shout out to my man Lou downtown.
Shout out to Lou. Shout out to OG Mike Mitch. They got you looking fresh.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, bro. You know, once a week we
already know.
Go in there, recalibrate.
You already know.
Get your action together, so you know.
Me and Daniel, we in there next week. So we back, baby. We here to recap playoff week 1.
Man, it's the playoff.
Look forward to playoff week 2, baby.
Indeed.
You can feel it in the air, man. We're going to start off with our game of the week last week.
For sure.
Gerard at Struthers. Of course, before we get into the details of the game, we want to give a shout out to our Ellie House player of the game, senior running back Anthony Carter. He did his thing. 29 carries, 201 yards, and a touchdown. He really took that game over in the second half, especially with the third quarter, big third quarter, 22-yard touchdown run. We was in the house, great atmosphere. Struthers got a beautiful atmosphere over there. If you ain't been to a home game at Struthers yet, but tell me some of your thoughts you seen from both sides, from the game, whatever. Tell me some thoughts you seen from the game last week.
Well, like I like to start off, always, the atmosphere. Like I said, that was my first time going to watch a Struthers home football game, and it didn't disappoint. The crowd came out, supported their team. The light show, whatever, the light show.
Yeah, I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah, I don't know what to call it. They had
lights
flickering off. Yeah. So it gave us an atmosphere. You could tell there was something special, playoff football in the air. And, you know, both teams put on a hard physical fight. And it was a good game.
Yeah. It was out there hitting. Both teams was out there hitting.
Both teams out there hitting. Gerard came down, firing, running the mod. Ahmad Kerr got a very physical first drive run. They went down there and punched it in, and you know, it looked like Gerard was gonna get an opportunity to get ahead early.
Like they was gonna jump out early.
Right, and then you know, Struthers was able to control the middle of the game. And was able to their style of play. I know you're gonna get into Coach Begg's style of play, and things of that nature that you were talking to me about after the game, and some key points of the game that Struthers was able to control, make big plays when they had to, and they came out with a hard-fought victory in front of their home crowd.
Like you said, number one, the atmosphere was dope.
Absolutely.
The atmosphere was dope. That was my first time being at a Struthers home game, like outside of like scouting or something like that, which is just different. You know what I mean? So shout out to the administration team over there. Hospitality was great. And the atmosphere was beautiful. Student section was there. Home crowd, they packed their side of the stand. So they did check all the boxes there. Like you said, as far as the game, Gerard did a good job coming out ready to play. The coaches had a good game plan. They came out executing. They came out firing. They jumped out 7-0 real quick. Like you said, they had some opportunities, especially in the second drive. They had an opportunity to go up 14-0. Struthers was doing a good job when they had the ball early from the 20s to the 20s. And then when they were kind of getting on fringe, red zone, kind of around the 25-30 and into the 20 and then into the red zone, they kind of sputtered the first two possessions. Penalties, getting in the first and 20s or second and 15s, those type of things. When you're a run-based team, like being behind the chains hurts you. You want to be second and 7, second and 6, instead of second and 15 or first and 20. So it kind of took Struthers a little bit of time to kind of get their traction. But that's why I think Gerard kind of lost the game that early. Because when you kind of you could tell they were sputtering, they weren't quite ready. You got to jump on them right there. Let's try to go up 14-0, 17-0. See if we can get them to change their game plan. And of course, when you got Coach Begg, a young coach, but he got a great staff as far as experience and winning, they stuck with their game plan. He kept running that ball. And I kept telling you, if Struthers don't get up early and stretch this lead out, the more this game stay close going into the deeper part of the game, Struthers gonna pull it out.
Yes,
this is the game plan they want to play. And then couple big shout outs to the quarterback Jason Dukes. We were standing right there when they got stopped on 4th down on the second possession. And then we thinking Gerard got the momentum, they might go right down to score. First play of the possession, Gerard throw a bubble screen, Jason Dukes go out there, cause a forced fumble, and it just switched the momentum.
Absolutely.
Struthers didn't have great body language at that point. It was early, but at that point they didn't have great body language. But that forced fumble and being able to just make a play for your team, you can see Struthers kind of just, we all right, let's just play. They didn't score right there, but it was still big. But as far as the game, I think it was an old school Northeast Ohio battle. You could tell it was two teams that played each other. You could tell the familiarity was there. And again, shout out to both teams, great atmosphere. But shout out to Struthers, Coach John Begg and his staff. They pulled it out. And again, shout out to Anthony Carter, our LA House player of the game. He was kind of the difference. You can look at both teams. Neither team could throw. Both teams had good defenses. I felt like Gerard probably could have gave it to Ahmad Kurd a little bit more.
Right.
And I felt like Struthers said, we about to feed our guy. And at the end of the day, Struthers was the one that kind of came out on top.
And I got a question for you. How do you feel about Tough, the quarterback, Tough McConaughey? How I said?
Tough McConaughey.
McConaughey. How do you feel about he threw the ball 20 times. His senior year, I mean, he's a like Coach Begg told us before the game, he's a great high school quarterback.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's top 40, top 50 in the nation in passing yards. Number one in Division 4 in passing yards.
Around.
So he had a great career. So shout out to Tough McConaughey. His senior night, he had one of them games. I know he would have liked to go out
a little bit stronger,
but shout out to Tough McConaughey. He had a great career.
He got a great career. He put up a lot of numbers. He had transferred in to Gerard for his senior year, so that's why he kind of came out of the blue. You know what I mean? But a lot of passing yards in his career. Taller kid. Like I said, you could tell Struthers played him before. It's they did a good job taking away his first looks. And so I think he probably needed to do a better job of figuring out what's my second and third answer. Because when you play in teams, this is the second time we play in conference, which means we play every year. Because every year you don't change everything. Like we may put new wrinkles in here and there based on the personnel we have. But for the most part, 80% of what we do is what we're going to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you play in teams that you already know that we play every year in, year out, the coaching staff know each other, kind of how they think and what they like to do. As a quarterback, I got to be able to know, okay, one is gone, where's 2 and 3? Right. One is gone, where's 2 and 3? And, it kind of put the ball in harm's way sometimes, but you can see the talent. He'll probably be a college football quarterback. At what level, I don't know. But he had a great career. I wish he was an underclassman, could get one more year underneath his belt, get his body a little bit stronger, and kind of come back and see what he could do. Right. But, shout out to Tough, man. He had a great career. He didn't have the best game, of course, like you said, like he wanted to, but he laid it all out there. He was slinging that thing to the last minute, to the last second, went off the scoreboard. So, big-time talent, man, and he'll be a college football player at some level moving forward. Now, let's talk about our second game from last week.
Indeed.
Upset. The Raiders, they went on the road and went and took care of business at St. V's, 35-0. Talk about it, baby.
Man, we've been waiting for it. We've been waiting for it to be pump our chest up full of air.
Right.
They delivered for us.
Yep.
We talked about it in last week's episode that we felt like we felt like Hardy could go in there and give St. V some problems. Nye Coleman, they got Nye Coleman back, and we got back from the game, and I went and watched the Hardy St. V game, and Nye Coleman jumped off the screen immediately. With him, his presence on the field, you can just see, Dante Jones and Powell getting free runs from the linebacker position, being able to fill those gaps, make plays in the backfield. He was very physical. Even when the quarterback got rid of the ball, he still got hit.
Pressure.
So bringing that toughness, allowing those faster linebackers that Warren G. Harding has to have those free running lanes because they had to block him.
Right.
He presented his quickness and his range. He forces. He has to be blocked.
Yeah,
he
has
to
be blocked.
schemed up. And like I said, those athletes at linebacker was able to get downhill, make a lot of hits in the backfield. So that defense, you see, they pitched the donut.
Yep.
They pitched the donut. Yep. And I have to tell you, like Nye Coleman, that his presence on the field jumped off the screen immediately. And for those who may not know, that's Chaz's brother.
Right.
And on flipping onto the offensive end, I just felt like it just seemed like Harding had that we got our big brother back.
Right.
Quickness and edge, and they pitched the donut. So shout out to the guys.
Shout out to the guys, man. They went on the road and got the dub, 35-0. Shout out to Don, man. Welcome back. You touched on the defensive side. bringing that energy. Another thing I'm sure Nye brought is just swag. Just when you playing, it's just another player that's proven.
Right.
You know what I mean. I'm not looking over like, all right. I hope bro like he's made plays on the varsity level in multiple sports, so the lights ain't too bright. He's been waiting to play, so he was ready to play, itching. So shout out to Nye. Chaz using his feet a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
2 rushing touchdowns. Also like the game plan. Shout out to the coaching staff. I thought they had a good game plan as far as leaning on the run a little bit more. They got a nice stable of backs. Javonte Jones, he's a back with speed. He can take it the distance. He's sturdy. You got Antonio Smith, who had a touchdown. He can hit his head on the goalpost any play with his game-breaking speed.
Right.
Chaz using his legs. You got Powell you can use for short yardage, red zone. So I like the fact that the coaching staff had a great game plan saying, we're going to run the ball a little bit more. We're going to put the ball in our best players' hands.
Right.
We're going to get up early, and then we're going to let our defense go hunt.
And that's what they did. And they, for the first time this year, Harding probably won all, they won all 3 phases of the game.
Yep.
Kickoff return for a touchdown. Yep. We hadn't seen that from Harding.
Shout out to Javonte. Shout out to the kick return squad, special team.
And like you said, just a caveat on what you said, shout out to the offensive line. Those guys was holding your blocks long enough for those athletes to gash you. 40 yarders, 60 yarders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Big plays.
Like big plays. So
40 yarders, 60 yarders, 85-yard kickoff return.
Right. So those are plays that take the wear and tear off your trenches.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Those are big plays off of.
You got momentum though.
Momentum. You get to come back out fresh.
Yes.
Every drive when you gashing the field, covering up all that real estate in those in short drives and stuff like that. So shout out to the guys, shout out to the O-line, shout out to the coaches. Keep it up.
Yep.
Next week. We're back at it.
Like you said again, shout out to the staff, man. It's Warren, Ohio, so if you ain't winning every game, of course you gotta hear chatter, you gotta hear stuff. And I'm sure it's been a rough season, but they playing their best ball at the right time.
But it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have expectations.
Yeah,
it's a blessing. So
that's what comes with the tradition.
Like you said, when the playoffs start, is 0-0, and they're healthy right now. They're probably the healthiest they've been all year.
Morale is probably the best it's been all year.
They get some key guys back.
Perfect time.
And we talked about it, like having a leader like Nye back, that matters in the huddle. That matters on the sideline.
In between the plays.
Helping the coaches out.
Right.
Policing up things on
because
the fly.
It's a proven player. So if a proven player comes to the sideline and say, Coach, that's not working.
Right.
But I think if we do this, as coaches, we got to remove our pride too. Because a lot of times we think we know what's best, but you got to listen to your best players and your most experienced players and your smartest players that's on the field. So like you said, it's big to have a guy out there, especially in between plays. Hey man, come on, let's go. We ain't getting this.
Right.
Or hey man, you good? Don't worry about that. Just play the next play. So again, shout out to the coaching staff. Shout out to Nye for being back. Javonte Jones, Holmes Smith, Chaz Coleman, leading the boys to a victory, baby. Let's talk about our next Buena Vista Cafe game of the week coming up this week. We got another local banger, the Canfield Cardinal, the reigning Division III state champion, going on the road to the Ice House to take on the Ursuline Fighting Irish, who out of Northeast Ohio is the favorite to come out of Northeast Ohio to represent Northeast Ohio this year in the Division III playoffs. Tell me what you feeling, baby. Talk to me.
It's championship pedigree. This matchup is a championship pedigree. There's reason why it's the Buena Vista Cafe game of the week. Canfield, they done won 6 in a row.
Yep.
The championship pedigree. They started out 1-3. People might have forgot that who they were dealing with.
And a lot of injuries. They had a lot of injuries early, and then trying to replace players from the state championship team.
And they found gold.
Yep.
I sat back and watched some of the highlights and some of the plays from their win last week. They got some boys up front, man. They got some boys up front.
We're going to touch on a little more on that when we get to the Stella spotlight in the next segment. But, bro, they got some boys up front. Go ahead,
They got some boys up front. And for this, I'm thinking, and I know you have some key points in this game that you're going to hit on, but Ursuline's defensive line against the offensive line, winning in the trenches, and will those defensive backs. These are some punishing running backs.
Yeah.
So they like to throw a lot of screens.
Yeah.
So, will those defensive back when you come up and make the tackle on Danny English and company, those aren't little backs. They're coming with a little head of steam.
And for 4 quarters.
So
for 4 quarters. It's one thing to be, I ain't scared first quarter, second quarter.
That weigh on you.
That weighs on you for 4 quarters.
Danny English, the Iowa State commit.
Yep.
You coming up, that's a haul.
Yeah.
Especially when you see on the film, them Canfield offensive linemen, they're down the field handling business.
Yes.
And we know Ursuline has a lot of defensive backs on the back end, but it's Terry and Davis. Do you want him to have a 10 tackle game?
No.
You know what I'm saying? No. So that's what those screen plays and a lot of things that Canfield is so good at doing is going to put those in positions. And I think some of the question is going to be those athletes that Ursuline has in the back end. If they going to be able to make those tackles, because that's the same problem that they give a lot of teams.
Yep. And to be able to get off the blocks also. The team that throw a lot of screen, there's a lot of big boys out there running.
And they move.
They moving, trying to block a lot of them skilled guys. Mm-hmm. So first I have to show, okay, I'm willing to take on the block, or I got to be able to beat you with speed and still stack you, and so you can't turn around and block me in my back, so on and so forth.
And then tackle Danny
English. And then tackle Scotty Eaton Jr. Mm-hmm. And then tackle Paul Bendis, because they got a nice stable athletes themselves. You know what I mean? So, bro, that's a great point. It's a big time game, championship pedigree, 2 great staffs, 2 great head coaches. I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be a big time game.
It is.
Unfortunately, tomorrow the first day official tryouts for basketball for me and Howland. So my brother is gonna be in the house. I know y'all gonna take care of it.
Down.
But I'm jealous. I wish I could be there, but I'm gonna be with my other family with Howland basketball. That's why I'm repping today, baby. Got our hoodie on.
Man, I need Coach Boubon, man.
Coach Boubon, what size you need?
Can I get a large?
Large? We'll get you, bro.
Get
you large, bro.
Come on, man.
But yeah, so this back to the game, and so we're gonna ease right into the Stella spotlight, kind of talk about my key, because that's a great point you made. My key is I'm looking at it a different way. Flip it. You kind of talked about when Canfield got the ball on Ursuline on defense. I'm gonna kind of talk about when Ursuline got the ball on Canfield on defense.
Okay.
Can Canfield secondary hold up against them receivers? So if you Danny Inglis, if you Paul Bendis, if you Scotty Eaton Jr., can you cover Tyron Davis, Devontae Taylor, DC Farrell, CJ Limbreno? Can you cover them boys for 4 quarters?
And account for the general.
Because the general is good. He's a smart kid. Yeah. He's going to make the right reads, and the coaches is going to give him good plays so he can, and put him in good positions to make plays. I feel like the trench is going to be even. That's just what I feel. The O-line and D-line of Canfield, I feel like going to be able to play with the O-line and D-line of Ursuline. I think that's going to kind of be a wash.
Done low and co.
I think that's going to kind of be a wash. But if you the secondary at Canfield, can we neutralize the big plays? You ain't gonna stop all the big plays. It's talent versus talent. Ursuline got too much talent. But if I throw this hitch route or this quick slant to DC Farrell and he catch it at 6, are we gonna tackle him at 7?
We're gonna tackle him, right?
You know what I mean?
That could turn into something.
Because that could turn into a 6-yard slant route that he puts his head on the goalpost down on 60. Tyron Davis showed it earlier in the year against Steubenville. Caught a 5-yard pass, taking 71.
Right.
Devontae Taylor, you get in that red zone, you look out for your head. You gotta look out for your head. But then also, you gotta you gotta account for Jack, the general. You gotta account for Mr. Consistency, Mr. 40-year plan, Christian Lynch in the backfield. So it ain't like you could just take a safety when we get the red zone and say play him over the top of Devontae. Now you're losing the safety in the run game. They're probably just gonna play the numbers and run it. So it's an intriguing chess match. I know both staffs are loving the game plan and getting their kids ready day by day and get ready for the game. But that's kind of something I'm looking at. You made a great point on the other side. Can Ursuline's DBs and Ursuline's second-level players, can they handle that physicality of Canfield's offense, the offensive line and the backs? And then on the flip side, when Ursuline got the ball, let's see if Canfield's DBs can hold up against their receivers. Because if they can hold up against their receivers and neutralize, let's say Ursuline receivers get 10 big plays a game. If you can hold them to 5,
hold on to 5. And just when you're saying that, it brings me back to another factor that we haven't yet mentioned yet. We kind of graze over with the coaching staffs. However, at that Fitch Ursuline game, Coach Reardon came out. If you remember, Fitch had scored going into the second half. They was getting the ball back to start the third half. A lot of momentum at home. And with the coach, you said, watch Coach Reardon. And he took the possession with an onside kick.
Surprise onside kick.
To start the third quarter, start the second half, and you can feel the air out the stadium.
Stole the possession.
You stole the possession when they had momentum.
Right, and took it, snatched it right now.
You can feel the air leave out the stadium. It's not too far of a travel, but at that point, it almost felt like an away game.
Yes.
It almost at that point when they took that possession, and
like you said, because they had that momentum going into the locker room.
They did,
and now they thinking, okay, we about to double dip. We got the momentum. Now we get the ball. Let's double dip, and now we really got the momentum, and it's a game. We cook it.
And on the flip side, Coach Reardon is like, they only scored off a fluke play at the point. Now we can do that too. So he went up 2-1. He went up 2-1 on the special teams level of the game. Remember, they returned the opening kickoff and he stole the possession and started the third quarter. So
that's a great point. Special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Special teams. We do the cheat sheets and kind of every week when we go into games, and at the bottom I always put halftime adjustments, tackling, pre-snap penalties period, but pre-snap penalties kill you. Tackling, like we just talked about, you got to be able to do them type of things, and sometimes special teams is the key. Mm-hmm. So being able to steal the possession, even if it's causing a turnover on special teams, taking the kick return back to the house. So that's something big to be watching this week, because when the games get tighter, the matchups get better, and the talent level equals out. Sometimes it comes down to special teams. Who can steal that possession? What coach got the gusto to say, I'm doing it. I don't care. No, we're going it right now. We're coming out the half. We're going surprise onside kick. So remind me of the Saints against the Colts back in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So, hey, big time game.
Big time game.
The cafe game of the week. Canfield at Ursuline, baby. Let's go into our next segment. Our Between the Lines with Coach Stella Player of the Week. I think everybody already know who this is. That boy Antoine Gardner went crazy. Bro, he went crazy. Man. 29 rushes, 471 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Man, listen. A 4-piece and 6 biscuits. You wanted a 4-piece and 6 biscuits?
Man.
That's what he gave to him.
With the dub, sorry about that. Most importantly, his team won 65-28. Getting the playoff win, which is most important. Sorry about that. But I was just so excited, so happy for Antoine. If anybody get to know Antoine and talk to him, he's a great kid. So it's easy to root for him. It's easy to be happy for him. So actually, shout out Johnny Perry, one of my basketball players from Highland. He texted me. He was right there by me. He texted me while we was at the Gerard Struthers game. He said, "Coach, do you see what Antoine Gardner is doing right now?" And he kind of sent me some stats. At that time, I think he had 3 something.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it.
We kind of had a little quick conversation, but shout out to Antoine Gardner, man.
Yeah, shout out to Antoine Gardner, and I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the Niles football community to get that type of spotlight for that big time playoff performance. He puts his name along the other list of area running backs that came out of this area, bring credibility to the football that we play in this area. So, shout out to Antoine Gardner. His name is right up there with the Davion Smiths, the Clarettes, the K-Ron Adams, meaning like from this area that took advantage of the opportunity
on the school.
And had an impact on the school. And, there's probably a freshman running back now who going to approach the offseason a whole different way. Saying just based off of the example that he was able to set, hard work, and when the opportunity, when the lights was the brightest, he took advantage of it. And Coach, you called it. If y'all been following the platform, our last episode, I asked you, who do you think? And you said it. I would look out for Niles because a guy like Antoine Gardner, he can go crazy. You said it that Thursday night, and he must have heard you.
I'm gonna tell you one thing I learned, man, especially as a young coach. Man, you're young, you got a lot of pride, a lot of ego. Players over plays. Players over plays. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when you get to the playoffs, at the end of the day, we can have all these plays and this great game plan. I need to get the ball to my best players.
Right.
So if I'm the Niles OC, we in the playoffs. We ain't been in the playoffs every year. We back. We trying to get the program. We need to start this playoff all right, get this win. I'm feeding Antoine Gardner. And And then you can tell they fed him early and often, and you can tell he delivered the meal.
He delivered.
You know what I mean? So
4 pieces, 6 biscuits.
Right, and then last point I'm gonna make about it, because he's still in the playoffs and he's young, and I hope they keep winning. I hope he keep doing good. But that type of performance cements your legacy at Niles High School.
Exactly.
50 years from now, 60 years from now, when he's old and his kids and his grandkids is walking around Niles or anywhere, they gonna remind his family, remind him and his mother, and everybody that had a hand in raising him. Hey man, you remember that playoff game Antoine Gardner had?
Right, and it sets the bar up for the young players coming underneath them. Yeah. It kind of removes the sense of entitlement and just so
you always chasing something.
When
you got a running back running for 471, 6 touchdowns in the playoff game, you're gonna always be chasing that. Right. Yeah, you might be better, but like I said, as far as for Antoine Gardner and his family, the dope thing is that's a legacy night that'll be cemented for him and his family, and that'll cement his career at Niles, all kind of wrapped into one.
Yeah.
Now, right now, I know he tunnel vision, he locked in trying to win, but from an older guy outside looking in, that was one of the cool parts about it. He kind of cemented his legacy in the Niles community. So again, shout out to Antoine Gardner, his mother. I met his auntie at the game, man. He got a great support base. He's a great kid. Coach Perry and the staff over there doing a good job. So salute, baby. Antoine, you did your thing. Next, we're going to our overtime segment, baby. Talk to me, man. What's on your mind? What you feeling, man?
Man, let's talk about some of these intriguing matchups
that
I've seen.
Okay. What you looking at? What you got your eye on?
Well, I'm going to tell you first thing. Back in the door with Lil Joe. We going back to Niles. We running forward, right back.
Right back?
We running forward, right back.
You got to give it to them.
They playing Minter Lake Catholic, right? Yep. Now watch this. The playoffs is a place for special things to happen, right? Yep. So Minter Lake Catholic, they're 8-2, 9-2 team. So that would make Niles an underdog.
I seen them earlier in the year against Mooney.
If you're gonna say the playoffs is where special things happen, Minter Lake Catholic gave up a 62-piece to draw the Jesuits. Walsh Jesuits, excuse me. They gave a 62-piece to them. So, I mean, that's damn near a 7.
I think Mooney played in week 1 or week 2.
Mooney clipped them.
Mooney clipped them for about 35, I think.
Right. So, if there's any team,
you go
right back, Lil Joe back in the dough. Lil Joe back in the dough, round 4. Coach, round 4 again. So that's going to be the team that allows special things to happen to them.
Yes, like you said, defense prone.
And I was
Coach Perry, bro. I don't even want him on his feet that much.
We running 4.
Back door Lil Joe, bro.
Back door Lil Joe.
Give it to you 29 times. I'm giving it to you at least 30. At the least, I'm giving it to you 30 this time. Yep. And then the dope part about it is they got a quarterback who can play. So that just makes the game a lot easier for him. So now, there's a lot more one-on-one. I could just throw a hitch. That's easy. I can just throw a slant. Or I can put the ball in your belly. The defense got to react to Antoine Gardner.
And you know how tall that quarterback is?
6'5".
6'4".
6'4".
So 6'4".
Big boy.
Lil Joe.
Yeah.
That's how we cut it.
That's how we cut it. So, hey, I like that. And what other matchup? Any other matchup you got?
Absolutely. So, bring it back to Walsh Jesuit again.
Okay.
They got Fitch. Okay, so once again, Fitch will be the underdog. But if you look at Fitch's schedule that they played, the gauntlet that they went through, don't look at those couple. They got clipped at the beginning of the year. Probably came in a little high, had some distraction going on in the summertime. I'm not making any excuses, but they got clipped early in the season. However, Maslin, they've outscored their opponents 128-13 in the last 12 quarters. You get what I'm saying, including a comeback from behind win against Warren G. Harney on the road. So, although they're the underdog, TJ Parker has attested that team probably has been through more the emotional roller coaster than other area teams this year. They lost a 5-star player early in the year.
A lot of injuries.
Got clipped.
2 other Division I players get hurt and kind of in and out of the lineup. Had to play some young freshmen. Had to play some young guys. Kind of before they I'm sure they wanted to play them. So like you said, they've been through a lot of adversity. So they're battle tested for sure.
Battle tested, and it's at that point of the season. Like I said, the defense is playing lights out right now.
And I feel like the defense low key been really playing well all year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now I'm sure they probably want some more bigger plays, some more turnovers. But like as far as like they've been in some tough games and they get stops when they need to get stops.
Right.
And they ain't gave up like crazy numbers. Mm-hmm. Like even Ursuline winning, Ursuline didn't have the same smooth offensive performance they have been having against every other team up to that point. Now Ursuline's a good team, so they figured it out and made enough plays to get 30 points on the board. Mm-hmm. But Finch defense kind of been playing well all year to kind of back up your point, what you were just saying.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm thinking the Niles Lake Catholic game. Picking Niles again, running full to the house.
Okay.
And then on Fitch against Walsh Jesuit, excuse me. Like I said, I like the battle-tested Falcons. I like the battle-tested Falcons. Walsh Jesuit, they've been eating. They've been rolling through their schedule.
Having a great year.
Having a great year.
The only team they lost to was Holman this year.
So, I feel like that could be one of those situations where you going against somebody who already got a couple scars. Yeah. They have been through some things. So I like those two matchups.
That's definitely two intriguing matchups. I got a couple. Mm-hmm. So my first one, I'm gonna stay right here at the crib. Hardy got Hudson.
I like that.
There's reason why. There's reason why. History-wise, as far as Hudson don't score a lot of points. Hudson kind of beat you by methodically just wearing you down. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not like you're going to play a team that's higher seeded that can put up points. It ain't like you going to Medina where they might put up 50 or 60. You ain't kind of going to play against that. You know what I mean? Kind of in the past, if you watch Hudson or know anything about Hudson, the game probably going to be played right around the 20s. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And if you look at skill and talent, Harding got it. Now, Hudson is probably better in the trenches. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Probably bigger, stronger team. And, of course, they've been winning more games and been more consistent over the last couple of years. So they got the momentum of having good years back to back kind of for the last 5-6 years. Mm-hmm. So they believe in winning. They got a winning culture. They got a great program. Their coach doing a great job. But it's like as far as intriguing matchups and like upset alert, watch Hardy get Hudson, man. Hardy playing their best football right now.
I like that. And, I'm as a Warren guy, I'm picking Harding every week from my heart. But honestly, I like that matchup. And I don't think, for two reasons, I don't think Hudson has seen the Harding team that's coming in there.
No, this is
I don't think nobody has seen the Harding team that's coming in there. They're healthy. Yeah. They're running the ball.
Right. Right, 9 back on defense, so you got another presence on that D line where you needed a presence at on that defensive line. You lose Nehemiah Alexander earlier, you already was kind of inexperienced.
Right.
So now you get Nye Coleman back. We're running the ball more on offense.
And you have a quarterback with quarters underneath his belt.
Exactly.
Chaz coming in there that get those Maslin games that helps them. Those Kevin McKinley games, the Farrell games. Yeah. Those games have.
That schedule definitely gets you ready for the playoffs.
Exactly. So, and look out for the athletes in this game. Look out for the athletes in this game. Aries Bay. Mm-hmm.
They got the Najee
Jones. LaMarcus Probert he's a star. He's a star in the making. I know you hard on your guys.
I hate saying star.
I'm just saying he's a sophomore.
Yeah, he got a lot of talent. He got all the potential.
Right. You go do a time coach. That's what I'm here for.
Absolutely.
But the kid has the potential. He will rip the top off the defense.
Absolutely.
He can take a hitch.
Hudson don't got nobody who can cover.
He can take a hitch and you seen him skating up the sideline in front of 10,000 in Maslin. Yeah. So
then also like to piggyback your point, a kid like LaMarcus who's a sophomore, you ain't a sophomore anymore.
Oh yeah.
We going into week 12. You just rattled off all the teams we played. Mm-hmm. Cam McKinley, Maslin, Ursuline, Fitch. Like, we're battle tested. You've been underneath all the lights. So, really, let's try to get more consistent. Not just LaMarcus, just all those playmakers. Let's try to get more consistent. If you're a junior, you ain't a junior no more. You're a senior now. True. If you're a senior, were you ready to go home?
Right. You know not to be thinking about too far ahead. Like you're right. That's absolutely right. I was just as he put together these games, you see it.
You see all the potential. It's all there.
And it's like, I had the opportunity to watch you guys on the off season, go put in some extra work. And then you see the guys he's working with, saying you work, not to tell everybody, but Devontae Taylor, the guys that y'all out there putting in that extra work with, we see them in the off season, blistering heat, and now you watch these guys, DT, Devontae Taylor turning into TD, and Marcus is out there in Maslin, stretching, ripping the top off, having people on both sides looking in the program.
Right, who's that?
25.
Right, they don't recognize that last name.
So so they already know. You know what I'm saying? They safety got to stay back now.
Absolutely.
Just off that. So, I like that. I like that game.
That's my upset alert. That's my upset alert. And then my second one, bro, I got is kind of low key. It's Akron Bookto at Canton South. Canton South is a smaller division school. Now that's the quarterback. I don't know if you remember, Poochie Snyder. Earlier in the year, I remember I told you he had broke the Stark County all-time passing record, over 9,000 yards. So that's who Bookto played. If anybody's seen Bookto up close, which we seen them when they played Hardy, Bookto got some boys and Bookto got bodies. Mm-hmm. So that's just my second upset alert.
Right.
But now my two playoff matchups, that's kind of intriguing that caught my eye. The first one I'm gonna stay local just because it's local. Struthers right back at Poland. They played week 10. It went to double overtime. Poland ended up getting them. But that's also just like last week's game. This is another game where you're playing the second time. Mm-hmm. This is the second time in 3 weeks. Conference opponent, so y'all know each other. And then more so than Gerard, as you seen, because you was at the Poland Nows game with me, and you seen Struthers. These two teams who want to run the ball.
Two of the similar styles.
They trying to own the trenches. They trying to, because football at its core is trying to make one man. I'm trying to take your wheel from you.
Right.
So this gonna be two teams that's gonna try to be snatching each other's wheel. The coaching staff trying to snatch each other's wheel, trying to run this thing down each other's throat. So that's one intriguing matchup I'm gonna have my eye on. Mm-hmm. And then another one, kind of have one local and one a little bit further away. St. Ignatius at Camp McKinley.
I seen that.
Look, man, St. Ignatius went 1-9, but it's St. Ignatius. Mm-hmm. Ask Minner right now. St. Ignatius went in and got that upset. If you can McKinley, we got to be ready to rock, man. Mm-hmm. Because it don't matter if them kids only won 2 games this year. They play at St. Ignatius. They believe in the tradition. It's easy to brainwash them kids because all they know is winning. All they seen is winning their whole life. So one win last week, even though it's their second win of the season, that one win last week had them feeling like we're about to go win the state championship. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that brain power is all you need to go do something special. So that's another game I got my eye on. You know what I mean? That St. Ignatius at Camp McKinley game.
Right, and we actually seen Camp McKinley get caught looking ahead a few weeks ago.
When they lost to King Glen Oak the week before they played Maslin.
So I have all the confidence in Coach Hall to right the ship, but you're absolutely right. We don't know which Camp McKinley we're gonna see this week. So we love to say what we know. They got the players. It's not a question. It's not a question of the coaching staff. It's not a question of the players. It's a question of consistency.
Yep.
And they got a lot of players. They got a lot of recruiting things going on right now. So it's easy for focus to be during this time of year to be spread thin. So that's actually a good game to keep an eye on.
Just a couple matchups to keep my eye on, man. Absolutely. So I like that, man, from both sides, man. I like them points and the games you made and everything. Let's go to our Ask Coach Stella segment next, man. What you got for me, baby? What you got for me? Talk to me, man.
All right. Our question comes from Ethan Harden of Warren, Ohio.
Shout out Ethan. That's one of my babies at Summit Academy. Shout out Summit Academy. What's good, everybody?
Shout out Summit Academy. Shout out Ethan.
Okay.
Ethan's question is, and we're talking the NFL here.
Okay.
If you could pick an all-time starting 11 for defense or offense, which would it be?
I'm gonna go defense. It's off the cuff. So let's go. I'm probably gonna go more than 11, but I'm gonna kind of give you a basis overall. So let's go D. Let's go interior. Let's go D tackles. Let's go Mean Joe Green.
You're gonna have to get your Googles on, Ethan. He's taking you back. You have to get your Google on.
Yeah, let's go Mean Joe Green, Warren Sapp, and Aaron Donald. That's gonna be my 3 interior players. On the edges, let's go Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Give me one more pass rusher. Give me a minute, y'all. I'm going off the cuff. Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White. Give me somebody newer. Best pass rusher I see. I'm gonna go T.J. Watt. From the edge, as far as edge pass rushers, as far as stack linebackers, let's go stack linebackers.
Miles,
man.
you left Miles again.
Yeah, I left Miles. I'm a Browns fan, but TJ is more consistent. Of course, Miles is my guy, and he killed it this year. But TJ's a great football player. He's a little more consistent. Off the ball linebackers, got to go Ray Lewis. I'm gonna go Ray Lewis. I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna go Dick Buckus. Shout out to Dick Buckus. Rest in peace. God bless the dead. And I'm gonna go Junior Seau. They're gonna be my 3 off the ball linebackers. My secondary players, and I'm probably forgetting somebody. I'm going off the cuff. My 2 corners, I'm going Deion Sanders and Darrell Reeves. Locked up. My 2 safeties, I'm gonna go Ed Reed. See, this one is tough. I'm gonna go 3 safeties. My 3 safeties are Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, and Ronnie Lott. That's my 3 safeties. And Sean Taylor, rest in peace.
I'm about to say,
rest in peace. And then
Sean T.
I'm gonna go as my nickel. My nickel gonna be Charles Woodson. I think Charles Woodson the best nickel. I think he's the best nickel to ever play football. And my dime player is gonna be the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. That's my D. That's my D. That's my D right there. So Ethan, that's what you wanted to know. I kind of went off the cuff. The only one that I forgot that I would add is Sean Taylor for sure. So I'm gonna say 4 safeties. Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, Ronnie Lott, Sean Taylor. I think they're the best 4 safeties to ever play. So I'm gonna go with them. And then, that's my defense. That's what we're doing. Shout out to Ethan, baby.
Shout out to Ethan, man. Appreciate your contribution to the show, man.
Appreciate
Shout out to Ethan.
Go to sleep. All right. Here we go. Shout outs, baby. Talk to me.
Shout outs, man. Like always. Shout out to the family.
You know
what I'm saying? Shout out to the viewers, everybody out there who lend us your ear, lend us your time to hear us give our insight about it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the players, the families that's still out here. It's cold. Yeah. So, if you're watching this show right now, we all know that you're not a fair weather football fan.
Right.
You enjoy it. You love it like us. It's a part of a staple of our community. So
absolutely.
Shout out to everybody who's still in week 12, getting hand warmers ready, doubling up socks, getting coats, long johns, making sure grandma got her cup of soup in the thermos and all that. Yeah. So, saying shout out to everybody still in the fight, still in us, bringing us this great competition, watching young men in our area do their thing. Shout out to Coach Stella, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
The basketball team, you know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you, bro.
Shout out to Coach Boupon for looking out for the hoodie for me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And it bags, largely. Right. But you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody out there. Peace and love, bro.
You know what, man? You know what, man? I'll always shout out to you. Shout out to nephew over there on the 1s and 2s. Shout out Casey, Slim, Don C. Shout out the team, man.
Shout out everybody,
shout out my family. Shout out, most importantly, my beautiful kids. Daddy love y'all. I appreciate y'all for making me a better person. Shout out to Warren, Ohio. I always got to shout out Warren, Ohio. The kids in Warren, Ohio. Summit Academy, Highland, especially the basketball team, JFK, Liberty, Warren G. Harding, everywhere I've been. As always, shout out to everybody. But, I like to have a couple little trinkets every week. So first I want to give a shout out to all the teams that advanced. It's the playoffs. I don't care who you playing, it's the playoffs. So to be able to get a playoff win in week 1, survive in advance. That's all you care about, survive in advance. So shout out to all the teams in the state of Ohio that got a chance to advance. My second shout out going to be shout out to Struthers, to the AD Nancy Knight, her administrative staff, Coach John Begg and his staff. Everybody was great over there. The hospitality was great. They got us in. They made sure we had everything we needed. And most importantly, shout out to the atmosphere. The fans were amazing. Like I said, I don't even know what to call the lights. But, every time they scored, they had the lights going. As they were running out, they had the lights going. You ain't really hear too much negativity. Everything was positive. The sideline was upbeat. So shout out to everybody that had something to do with the Struthers, the hospitality, all the staffs over there. And we talked about it earlier. You talked about it. Shout out to my guy Nye Coleman, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Shout out to Nye, man. Welcome back, Nye.
Welcome back.
It don't matter how late you is to the party, you there. You know, we got your back as always, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Get them boys ready to play. And well,
I was talking to one guy. I said the Harding, like the Warren G. Harding Colemans, man. They
loaded out there, man. You know, they definitely got a family reunion out there every Friday, man. Absolutely. You count the stands in the field, it's a Coleman family reunion every Friday. So shout out to the Colemans, man.
Shout out to the Warren G. Harding Colemans doing their thing out there, man.
All of them out there doing their thing, man. There's a couple of them on the freshmen, so like you said, this is like a family reunion out there, man. But shout out to everybody, man. And like I said, shout out to Don, man. Happy you back, man. Take advantage of the opportunity. No matter how many games it is, take advantage of it. Nye, a Warren kid. I got love for all the Warren kids. So.
Shout out to my dog, Jonte Jones. I mean, wait, man.
Javonte
Jones, man. Yeah. 5. You know how we coming.
Yeah. You know shout out Javonte. Big game.
Shout out 5. You know how we coming.
Rushing touchdown, kick return, running around on defense sideline to sideline, man. Shout out to Javonte, man.
I like how he played the game.
Hey, bro. I love you, bro. Appreciate you. Another show in the books, man. We'll be back next week to recap our playoff week 2 and look forward to our playoff week 3. We out.
It's another one.
Kobe. Bro, full circle. All the way around, baby.